Three, two, one. Dun, dun, dun. Hey, guess what? We're going to talk about today. I come up with these topics because I'm just start thinking about things, and they perplex my mind a little bit. So that's why I like to discuss them. And I think that other people are experiencing similar stuff. And my friend and fellow magi and guest and co-host today is experiencing the same stuff.
Hey,
Good morning. Aren't you glad I didn't say banana?
I live in Florida. We got oranges and bananas down here. So.
You do, the citrus state. You even got it on the license plate, don't you?
Yep, that's true.
Yeah, we got lakes.
Yeah, that's right. You're the land of the lakes.
10,000. Yeah, Land O' Lakes was a company.
I want to know who takes care of all those lakes. That must
Nature.
cost you a lot.
Nature takes care of it. But yeah, it does. It does cost a little bit.
Okay, bridging the gap. I sometimes start my show off. I say, okay, kids, everybody, hold your head up like this now. Separate these two fingers like that. And then separate these fingers. You can do it. Not everybody can do it. You'd be surprised how people cannot bridge those gaps or be able to separate the gaps, bring them together.
Yeah.
But I do it with both hands, No, you'd be surprised how people cannot do that.
Oh, it's the way that I think that your brain is developed, and I mean, with us being magicians, working with our hands, we got that motor skill.
That's true. You're right.
Others, I mean, your brain is that block of matter that has these little neurons in there that has memories and all that kind of stuff.
I'd like to believe that my skill in magic has helped me develop that. So I guess I have good eye-hand coordination,
Well, I think it has, and it also has our brains think differently. Mm-hmm. And that kind of comes to our little conversation today about bridging the gap, because there is this gap in humanity. Like you had mentioned, you did a show and it's hard to make eye contact with this younger generation. When in my years, there was participation. People were anxious to be involved. And
well, let me clarify. Children I don't have a problem with. These are young adults.
Right.
They're the ones that have the problem with making eye contact.
I agree. And unfortunately, the young adults have these kids and then they start saying, don't talk to strangers. And it's harder than hell to get a kid to laugh.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, that's what's happening with all this. Like my struggle right now with marketing and things is there's the digital social media world. Then there's the physical world of actual live events where we perform or we meet people, and getting people off the internet or even to see something on the internet, or even if they see it, do they engage long enough to actually get involved and find out where it is and when it is? There's a disconnect.
Yes. Yes. Definitely so. Right.
Like, people get lazy too. They like you post something up there and they don't click the link and research it. They just say, where is it? When is it? They want the instant answer.
Well, but the other thing is I see people posting stuff, hey, come to my show, come to my event, and they never tell you where it is.
That's kind of my point.
They may have at this theater. Well, what town? What state? Facebook is worldwide.
Yep, the communication is no longer local, it's global, so a lot of it is not relevant. And then some people think that just because they liked a post, it does something. It doesn't. I don't think the algorithms are doing anything other than letting you know if something else happens. They don't really.
I heard otherwise, but that's okay. It didn't.
I don't know that it does anything, whereas engagement, if you type in some words like, if you say, where is it? And I say, Minneapolis, Minnesota, it's actually in a suburb called Fridley. Those words are on the internet. So now if there's somebody else that's from Minneapolis, Minnesota and knows about Fridley, they're probably going to get more engagement or see it.
That part I don't know about.
Well, to me, the internet is all words and links. And I learned this because I created my own word. It was Bunny Hill 214. And I just recently checked it. I didn't see it, but I created this word I went on the internet and I Googled Bunny Hill 214. It was around Valentine's Day. That's why I created it.
And
Well, it wasn't on the internet. So I
yeah,
created a post
yeah,
using the word Bunny Hill 214.
right.
And until recently, it was still up there because, I mean, who's going to steal that word? So
So,
that word,
so you found it on the internet after you, what, well, I guess I'm sure I'm not
years
following you.
later, I found
Oh,
that word Bunny Hill 214.
and something as a result of your creating it.
Yes.
Okay.
My
Now,
stuff is still
now
up
I got you. Wow. Good. Well, I wonder what I can come up with. Actually,
Well,
I have.
if you just use the word Palm Bay in some of your stuff, you'll start seeing that. Or if you say, here's a show that I did in Palm Bay, Florida for a senior living center. We had a great time doing magic and having some fun with balloons
Yeah. Uh, yeah.
rather than
Well,
just
I
picking it
posted
up.
one yesterday. I intentionally did not put the city on it, and I had reasons why. So,
Well, exactly my point. There's reasons why you should or should not.
mm. So I I don't know what to say about bridging this gap. Let me just say this: I don't have problem with people like you and other people who are some kind of a wavelength. I connect instantly, but the masses, it appears there's a disconnect. Like when I go to the store now, good to go shopping for groceries. I get very little eye contact, very little, and compared to what it used to be. So
Yes.
there's an example there, and then meeting somebody for the first time and trying to have a fair conversation. You
Well,
know,
you and I kind of hit it off right away, and now that I know you better and know more what you're at, it's because we're vibrating or resonating at a similar level, so it's easy to connect. Exactly. Whereas, I mean, this is another little conversation I was thinking about as far as bridging this gap is the difference between reality and fact, opinion and fact. Because people say you got to trust the science; it's fact. And then there's people saying we never landed on the moon. Oh, it's a fact. I saw it on the internet. So it's the belief thing. That goes back to the magic stuff. What is it that you believe is real? And I think when you're trying to connect with these people at the grocery store, a lot of these people, they may be woke or not awake, thinking that they're woke. They're not at the same consciousness or vibration or dealing in the fifth dimension instead of just this three-dimensional world. And you are not relevant to them because they are very logical and I believe in Jesus and I'm a Christian and those people are sinners because they're gay and they're very concrete.
right?
So
And
you're
you're
not
right.
going to connect.
Yep, you're right.
I've been
And
studying the Abraham Hicks stuff again. I mean,
okay.
I was in it a long time ago and now I'm back more into it. And my friend Paul Sheely, he's got this thing called Abundance for Life. It's a similar kind of thing of creating your own reality. And that we're all in a trance right now. And the idea is to get out of the trance. And that's by being in that meditative state of nothingness so that all this information beyond this three-dimensional cognitive belief that we have from being programmed from our parents and our teachers.
Yeah, I wrote myself a note today about letting go of what I've been taught. It's not I need to learn something new. I need to learn how to let go of some of the things I've been taught.
Yes.
There's where my freedom is.
Yes.
So, yep, good
Unlearning.
point.
It's like I was listening to Esther Hicks. She does the Abraham thing, and she was talking about how to meditate. And some people say I can't meditate because I keep thinking of all these other things. And she said, think of something like the sound of the air conditioner. Think of that because it's not relevant to anything. It's just a buzz sound of air conditioner. So you think about that. Now it's much easier to calm your mind because you're not thinking about, the car going down the street and the police car chasing it. And I hope they didn't die. And your monkey mind starts taking off. But it's very hard to do. I shouldn't have said that. It was a bad affirmation. It's a bitch being a physical being, isn't it?
I'm with you, except I don't have the problem as you do of quieting my mind. But I've been doing it for ever since 2006.
When you're older, you doze off a lot easier.
I do that. I do. Yeah. Was I meditating or taking a nap? I can't remember.
This is another thing that's sort of on topic, and I'll try and segue into our bridging. But you inspired me with your little mini routine, the music that you did. And I was thinking, I want to start doing my old dye tube routine again. And I'm thinking, where the hell is that gimmick?
Wow. I use it in almost every show.
But I can't find the dye tube or the.
Well, I'll have to show you. I'll have to show you mine. Mine's a little bit unique.
I believe so.
Because I don't know if you realize how big that handkerchief was that I made.
Right, and I was thinking about that. You're blessed because you're a bigger guy. You got bigger fingers.
Yeah. Well, I noticed one day I was watching a video and it had a little 9-inch or 12-inch handkerchief. It looked so tiny in my hand, and I've had to get around that. So over the years, I've developed that, and then I learned to practice a unique manipulation of the handkerchiefs and how to make them disappear, and I have different two techniques of which I use of doing it. So, but yeah, for the people who didn't see it, how would they be able to find it? I guess they go to my YouTube channel. It's available. The video clip of me doing that. It was an act. They asked me to do an act of less than 5 minutes, all done to music. I had to walk on and carry all my props with me and walk off. I couldn't have no pre-setup, no talking. So that's what I got. I did that act to the music and made it fun, and
Well, I'll tell you how a person could find it. If they type in Stephen Hart Magic YouTube, it'll probably be up there.
Stephen. Yeah, that might be.
Yeah, if you're getting those words out there, that's how they find it. That's why I use the word Magic Brad, because it's all one word. It's my key word that other people aren't using, and I can find things.
Yeah, I want people to see it. I mean, I only did like 4 or 5 effects, and but I wanted it to be simple, so I didn't have to think about it. Believe it or not, Brad, as you well know, the setup time for the act takes longer than the act.
It usually does, yes.
Because I did a vanishing cane. I produced this big bouquet of flowers.
Yeah.
And it takes time to set all that stuff up. It's crazy. I used to do a 10-minute, 10 to 15-minute music act, and it took me over a half hour to set it up. But that's what we do with our art form, And so anyway, what I said what the point of that was, I wanted to make it simple. And you talk about bridging the gap. That's one of the things I'm constantly simplifying everything, and yet something of a value. Still give something of value, So I want to be able to communicate with my audience, with people. And meet them where they're at, and then see what comes out of that,
Well, that is part of the challenge with this connection of people these days. I mean, we can go into the whining about the TikTok magicians that are focusing on one camera and all that stuff, but we won't do that. But I was inspired by your routine and wanted to start creating it. And then I started looking for those things that I need. And I mean, that's one thing with the secret. It's supposed to be small and supposed to be able to conceal it. Well, it's too small and it's concealed and I can't find it.
Well, part of my secret is I have more than one.
So I do too. Oh, I'm talking about the dye silk routine. I've got one that's old and all chipped up, and then I got another one that's very, very new and bigger for the larger scarves. And
Yeah, but if the audience never sees it, it doesn't make any difference. I
I can't find either one.
understand.
Made them disappear just like that.
Well, in my lecture, my magic lecture, I teach you how to make what we call a dye tube out of tube you can buy at the truck stop. It's a cigar tube. You buy
Oh,
a cigar, and it's the perfect size to manipulate and to cut it and use it as a dye tube. And I teach you in my lecture how to make it. So I used to I used to smoke cigars. I don't anymore. So.
Let's see if I can find that.
The tube I'm talking about is Garcia Vega. It's a plastic flesh tone tube, brown tube. So it's perfect, you know.
Excellent.
Yeah.
You had something else that I saw that you probably carry in your little dollar store magic trick.com thing. I was trying to remember what the heck that was. But some of these simple, very affordable effects are very impactful.
Well, here, this is interesting. A guy came to the show the video you saw, another magician from across the state, to see me, and he brought with him a trick he bought from me from DollarStoreMagicTricks.com. It's my comedy card routine, and he said he'd been showing it to his friends and to other magicians, and they were being blown away by it and thought it was so clever. I thought, I thought it was good. That's why I put it on there, but I didn't think it was that good. Well, since then, I'm getting requests now for people to order those particular cards. It's what we call a one-way deck. So
yeah.
But it's a miniature one.
The simple stuff.
Miniature cards.
The simple stuff is often the best.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah.
So let me ask you this, back on the topic of bridging the gap, because I'm struggling with all this. I've got my event planner expo that's coming up, and short of going out, pounding the pavement, knocking on doors, how can I bridge the gap between this social media stuff that feels very disconnected and I can't seem to get up there and get noticed? How can I get them to come to live events? I'm only thinking postcards. We did this cruise a while back.
How'd that go?
It went good. We had about 120 people on the boat.
Oh, wow. That is good.
The postcards are 40 cents a piece, providing postage doesn't go up. But, I'm just looking for something with more efficacy. The social media, internet stuff, I can't seem to, like, a good example is this post right now is going out on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't see any comments. Maybe people are at work or something, so they're not actively here and they'll see it some other time. But if you're watching this now, comment on this video.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know you're human.
Yeah. I don't have the answer for you. I guess I'm experiencing the same thing, except we still have a telephone and you can talk to people, directly. You don't have to go, bang on the pavement that way. But
that's true.
But like just now, I have a show this afternoon. I called to confirm it this morning with them, and there was no answer. And it's a facility, it's a senior retirement. No one answered. I went straight to the message, left a message, and I thought, well, that's weird.
Well, that's what I'm saying, because our phones are digital now. I've had people call me up and say, I've been trying to call you, but it hasn't been connecting.
Uh-huh.
I'm thinking, I'm paying my bill. How come Verizon's not connecting?
Yeah, right. No.
So I think there's a lot of uncertainty in this digital world.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's why I've moved into the Abraham Hicks stuff. Maybe I can make a connection through the spiritual world.
Yeah. Well, there's something to be said about that too.
Well, there definitely is. I had someone inquire about a wedding in September, and I did not done any marketing, but they inquired.
Yeah, but you thought about we're doing a wedding,
Yeah,
right? So
it
you
goes
put
into
that
the
you
brain.
put that out there, you know.
And I kind of wonder if maybe that's more effective than Mark
Well,
Zuckerberg's platform.
according to one of my teachers, David Hawkins, he says that that's what we need to do. We have to create it in the invisible, and you throw the energy into the invisible, and then it comes into the physical. It's
Yes.
called, I think it's called Bohm's butterfly. It's an effect where you create here, I mean, the camera here, and then it comes out of that and goes into the physical, and it comes back and in and out. And so, yeah, I've been a firm believer in that. You know,
I remember years ago I had this vision. It's I'll try and explain it, but it's hard to explain. But it felt like there was this plane, this invisible plane, and there was energy that was coagulating, and then all of a sudden it went into the physical world.
that's exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's what the vision was like.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah.
There's like cosmic soup, and it turned out, and poof, it turned into a physical thing.
And I do believe, and I've experienced doing exactly that.
Yeah. And I mean, we're on a different topic right now, which is a fun topic that I don't know that things all of a sudden just go physically pop into existence, or they're already there and all of a sudden your mind goes, oh, there it is, like your keys. I'm looking all for my keys. And then all of a sudden you go, there they are. They were already there.
Yeah.
You just get
Yeah,
conscious.
that's a whole nother topic. But I will say,
It is.
by focusing and putting energy and meditating and whatever it is you have to do in your thought patterns into the invisible, it creates the physical, you know. So, yeah, I'm
Or at
agreeing.
least the awareness of it. So if all these people that are out there trying to change the world, if you change your thinking, you'll change reality.
You know, I've come to the conclusion, Brad, that it's a little bit of both. It's already there, and yet we manipulate the particles to bring it about, you know. So, or however you want
Hmm?
to describe that. I don't know about manipulating particles. Because I remember years ago a guy telling me I wanted a piano, and I just all of a sudden attracted the piano, and all of a sudden there it was in my house, and I'm going, what? You mean it just appeared in your house? Well, no, not really. It didn't happen that way.
That's right. A couple guys had to get it out of the truck and carry it up the steps.
Yeah,
Okay, I see what you're talking about.
yeah, yeah. So, but there is something to be said about the balance between the two aspects. You know, our involvement is part of the creativity. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, for example, some of the magic tricks that I've created, and now some of them are adaptations of old tricks, but I've changed it enough to it's become something new, and I've actually created that through a thought pattern that came to my mind,
Right.
and and it's new enough that everybody went, hey, I like that, I want one of those, you know. And I just sold one just yesterday. In fact, I
Well,
just
you talk about the unlearning and stuff. That's what I think a lot of people probably
yes,
could
that's
do
true.
is
Yeah,
get rid of some of those disbeliefs and
right,
start focusing on what you want rather than focusing on what you don't want.
right. You got that right. Mhm.
Everybody's trying to point the finger at someone else and say you shouldn't be doing that. Well,
Yeah,
what do they say? When you point your finger, you got three fingers pointing back
yeah,
at you.
that's right. Mhm.
Yeah. So that's what Brad's been doing with his life, anyways, is rethinking things and trying to get rid of the stuff he doesn't want.
You're doing good. So am I.
It's happening.
We're gonna pat ourselves on the back.
I will. Well, dude, we've been going for 24 minutes,
Yeah,
almost 25. So I
yeah.
will.
I gotta go and get ready for the show.
You do. You got to clean up your act.
It's all cleaned up. I got everything packed up, ready to go. Hey, I did that
Okay,
before we came on. So all I
okay,
gotta do
buddy.
is grab my suitcase, my keys, and my whatever else I have to have.
Stay in the
My
green
water.
room. Let's talk about that because I've got 4 shows I've got to do this week.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
We'll talk afterwards.
Pretty good. My friend and magician, comedian, and all around nice guy, Steve Hart. Go ahead and Google it. Steve Hart. YouTube, magic. You'll find them. That's all I've got for now. So peace, love, and happiness. Be good, be kind, be nice. Keep your mind straight. Think positive. It's possible.